What's going on, YouTube family? We are back with another video, and we got a lot to talk about, man. The One Piece world is going crazy. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of reactions we still haven't even seen. So, we gotta go ahead and touch on this and see how we feel about this. But before you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the post notification bell so you get the content as soon as I drop it. And of course, make sure you hit that like button so that we help the community grow. Because, hey, the more we get the community to grow, the more of these really awesome content videos I can drop for y'all on a more consistent basis. And, maybe I can even get to dropping 2 a day. Who knows? It just really depends. But, yeah, man, we got to get the channel to grow a little bit more. Let everybody else catch the vibe, man. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this conversation. So, what do we know right now as it stands in the One Piece world? First of all, the Yonko system has been changed forever. Because 2 of the biggest names in the whole entire One Piece world have been eliminated. We don't even know where they are at the moment. We don't know if they're dead. We don't know if they're going to end up being brought back to the surface in the next volcano eruption. We don't really know what's going on, but the Yonko system has been turned on its head, and it's because of, well, Luffy has already kind of made his name when he was technically named the 5th Emperor, but now it's only back to 4, and he still got his name in the bag. So that in itself, we kind of was looking forward to anyway. It's one of the steps he was going to need to take anyway to make his way to King of the Pirates. So again, something we was looking forward to happening at some point in the story. Buggy, on the other hand, well, we kind of had a feeling he was going to end up, because again, like I said in my last video in regards to like the chapter review, and as well as the rumors around the One Piece fandom, Buggy's been a troll from the very beginning. He's always been an opportunist. He's always made sure that he does and says certain things that just so happens to put him in the right place at the right time, and it's uncanny that someone has that kind of luck, because Luffy has luck, but it's a different type of luck. Or is it? Because again, Luffy has the luck of actually being able to bring people in and make you want to ally with him. He has that ability to draw you in and want to help him as opposed to be against him. He has actually gotten to his place through luck of the draw, as well as not necessarily being at the right place at the right time, but just his ability, his likability. Buggy, on the other hand, this man is 1,000,000% lucky. He just happens to be at the right place at the right time. Like, think about the fact that he was in Impel Down. If Luffy hadn't broken the Impel Down to save Ace, then we may never have seen Buggy ever again. Who knows? That is one of those questions that we will never know the answer to, because of the way the story progressed anyway. So, right place, right time. Ended up in Marineford, didn't even throw a punch, but yet somehow he ended up not being fazed by Mihawk when he slashed him, of course, because of his chop fruit. That was an insane lucky thing, and of course, again, just so happened to be lucky for Luffy, because Luffy used the one person who would not be harmed by Mihawk swinging that giant black blade at him. So they actually, when you look at it from a particular angle, they do actually kind of have that same luck of the draw type of situation. So they're kind of running in the same boat. But of course, again, Luffy is way more likable, because he actually does things genuinely wanting people to succeed alongside of him. not just for his own personal gain. Whereas Buggy is 1,000,000% for himself. Everything he does, without question, is for himself. If he doesn't see personal gain in it, it is not. He is not for it. He is not trying to be involved with it whatsoever. So that's one thing that definitely sets them apart in regards to their luck and their place in the One Piece world. But again, those two ending up being Yonko shouldn't really surprise anyone if we are really going to be 100 about the whole situation. We're going to move down the rung of the ladder a little bit and talk about the Warlords that, of course, have been removed, and that has definitely been abolished. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see how the replacement is going to actually take place, which, if you have forgotten, the world government replaced the Warlords with the SSG, which, if I'm not mistaken, is essentially just going to be a whole bunch of pacifistas that have been given devil fruit from Dr. Vegapunk, and they're just going to be going around eliminating pirates. So that's going to be interesting in the way we see that happening, especially if all of the pacifistas continue to be built like Bartholomew Kuma. That will be interesting, of course, with the abolishing of the Warlord system. They have actually turned on all the Warlords, and rumor has it that with the abolishing of the Warlords and the Warlords now being on the defensive of the world government, it wouldn't be surprising that may have also been the way that Buggy came to power. Because think about it. Right now, Luffy has been in Wano for 2 or 3 years in real world time. And then he's on, or if you think about it from the manga perspective, I think for 300 chapters or so. So come on. I mean, Luffy's been preoccupied in Wano, a world that is pretty much cut off from all of the rest of the world. While out in the rest of the world, where the world government has their eyes, the Warlords are all looking for a place to hide themselves and get further protection. And what better way to do that than to jump on the bandwagon of somebody who has been getting so incredibly lucky and now has actually become a Yonko in regards to that. Because, of course, we also know that Yonko do have to have their own fleet. So we do know that Luffy has a fleet because he built his at the end of the Dressrosa arc. So when did we see Buggy start to create his? He's actually been creating his for quite some time, if you really think about it. Because think about the World of the Best, or the Marine Forward, if you want to call it. He actually recruited pretty much all of the impelled down escapees, and they clung to his every word. So imagine his influence with those guys continuing on to the Warlords who are now on the run. So that is not a very fabricated, very outlandish idea that is the way that Buggy ends up becoming a Yonko. So it's a very, very valid point, a very good possibility, and I actually agree with it. I actually like that idea. And then, of course, you know, Blackbeard's been Blackbeard for quite some time. He kind of rose to power super quick, and, you know, he's still somewhat shrouded in mystery because the world of One Piece still doesn't understand how he was able to obtain 2 devil fruit within the same body. There are different rumors about how that happens. I don't know how much I agree with them or even how factual they can be. That would be something that I probably look into for another video. But, I mean, who wouldn't join someone who has Whitebeard's power plus the power he had already previous to that with the dark fruit? Like, come on. If somebody walked up to me with that, well, I mean, I would know better than to run because it wouldn't do any good at that point. He would either put the dark fruit in me and sink me into the nothingness of his dark fruit, or he would just and then the earthquake, and then I just fall down into nothingness as well. So, and then if Shanks, man, that dude is still 100% mystery. Like I said in probably several videos I've made in regards to any ever talking about him. Dude, we don't know what you're about. We have, as far as I'm aware, we have never seen you fight anybody except for crossing swords in one panel with Whitebeard when you went to visit him on his boat. Before you even clashed with Whitebeard, we saw you approach him on his ship, and as you was just walking onto the ship, you were just knocking people out left and right. Of course, then we seen you use your Conqueror's Haki before we even knew what Conqueror's Haki was when you saved Luffy from the Sea King. So the only bounties we've seen thus far post Wano are the 3 of the worst generation that took out the 2 emperors, and that's Law, Luffy, and Kid. I mean, think about the fact though, how is the rest of the world going to react to these bounties? Shanks is going to be ecstatic. Dragon's going to be ecstatic. Everyone in the East Blues that knew Luffy pretty well is going to be like, oh my goodness. And not only that, but the fact that Luffy has now become a Yonko is going to solidify his hold on all of the countries that he has visited up to this point, and they are definitely going to raise the Straw Hat flag as show of their allegiance to the Straw Hat Pirates and their Grand Fleet. Now, do I agree with the fact that he still is equal to Law and Kid? Definitely not. I believe he should at least have an extra $1 billion, and that would of course makes sense because that will put him up there with Shanks, who is also a Yonko. And I would imagine that Buggy and Blackbeard have also got a bounty increase, which I don't think I've heard anybody mention. I mean, everyone has kind of not even mentioned Buggy's potential bounty, as far as I'm aware. I haven't heard anybody rumor that. I've been thinking about that myself. What would Buggy's bounty potentially be? Him now being a Yonko and having the level of prestige that he has. And if you really think that Blackbeard's bounty is still going to be at $2 billion while everyone else is still moving up, I have a feeling that you're not thinking this through very well. I have a feeling that with what Blackbeard is capable of and what he has more than likely done, granted we haven't heard anything about it, I guarantee you his bounty has gone up. I can guarantee you almost that his bounty has gone up. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section below and why you do. But I guarantee you that Blackbeard's bounty has gone up from $2 billion, and I guarantee you that Buggy's bounty is also somewhere in the same conversation of between 2 to 4 billion. I do know that Luffy's bounty is being suppressed, of course, because of the last chapter and how scared the Gorosei is afraid of Luffy and his influence, between the fact that they were trying to hide the D from his name, which is kind of super late, as you've already had the Monkey D. Luffy in his name since the very beginning of him having a bounty. Plus, of course, you got to remember that's not going to do any good because who is his father? Monkey D. Dragon. Who is his grandfather? Monkey D. Garp. So it's going to be kind of hard to remove the whole essence of his from other people's memory. It's going to be like, why they just ran? In fact, you're going to probably draw more attention to the fact that, the D was there and now it's not. If you do take it out at this particular point, it doesn't even begin to make sense. Now that you have also somehow, even though it was taken by the CP0 agent, I still have no earthly idea how you were able to get close enough and how, with your camera, to take that picture of him for his wanted poster. Not only that, but with the technology that you would have to have in that camera, the technology you'd have to have in that camera to get that good of a picture of him in that instance when he was on his back laughing at Kaido and talking about, hey, Kaido, let's have fun. Let's think about this for real. to keep this video from being too incredibly long, we're going to go ahead and end it there. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all keep the conversation going in the comment section until next time. If y'all have somewhere y'all want us to go with this conversation, please leave your ideas in the comment section below and I'll go ahead and get to you. Speaking of, like I've told y'all before, I want to make sure that I reach out to y'all in the comment section. And here goes my homie Luffy Taro, who left a comment and was like, hey, you know, I want to look out for you and I support the channel, so please give me a shout out. And here you go, buddy. Hopefully it wasn't too late, because, you know, you did hit me up a little bit ago, but, you know, hey, I do want to keep that conversation going with y'all. I do appreciate anyone and everyone who takes time out of their day to watch my videos. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you enjoy, if you're enjoying the channel, share it with other people you think would enjoy the channel as well. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.